Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how to think like a millionaire. Now, I know a lot of these videos out there on how to become a millionaire or how to think like a millionaire. They have a lot of hype behind them and they have no real practical steps. So in today's video, I'm going to take a very relaxed approach to this and share some very practical steps that you can start applying to your life and change your mindset to start thinking like a millionaire. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 core ways that millionaires think differently than quote unquote normal people. Now, a couple quick notes before we get into today's video. First off, this is going to be straight to the point and there's no fluff in here. Everything I say in this video, particularly this video, is going to be said for a reason. The second thing before we get started is that the information that I'm putting in this video may not be received by everyone. What I've learned is you kind of have to be ready for this information. And now I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but you have to be mentally ready to start putting this in use. And the last thing before we get into this video is that most people think that becoming a millionaire is stressful, you have to grind every day, and you really have to be a go-getter. However, I can tell you from experience, this is not the case. Maybe previously, years ago, that was the only way to do it. However, with technology becoming a big part of our lives, you can work smarter rather than harder. So with all of that being said, to all of you who are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Greg and I like to talk about online entrepreneurship and share the resources that I wish I had along my journey. The cool thing about this channel is you will never find any paid courses. Everything I put out here is completely free. Also, to those of you who are returning to the channel, thank you as always for all the comments, the support, the likes. You guys are awesome. As always, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'm always happy to talk to you guys and help you out. If you want to become a millionaire and have the mindset of a millionaire, the first thing you need to do is be able to monitor your thoughts. Now, once you start doing this, it's pretty common to find out that negative thoughts are at least half of the thoughts, if not 75% of your thoughts. The problem here is when you are a business owner, a lot of your thoughts throughout the day are thinking about your business. And if 75% of those thoughts are negative, that negativity is going to be transferred to your business. Now, obviously, there is no physical way to explain this, how your negative thoughts can apply to your business and make your business perform negatively. However, as soon as you start changing this and you realize what's going on with your thoughts, and you switch that dynamic to 75% of your thoughts being positive, you will notice almost unexplainably over time, your business starts to perform positively. Now, obviously, just thinking positively is not going to make your business do better. However, it's the overall picture of you as a person and what your general thoughts are. Are they positive or are they negative? An absolutely perfect example of this that you can start applying almost immediately today is as you go through comments on a video as you're watching YouTube videos, as soon as you come across someone being negative in the comments or saying this doesn't work, you mentally just had a negative thought and it starts to change your perception of what you just saw in the video. Now, the reason that this is such a problem and holds a lot of people back from succeeding in their lives is because the person that left that comment may have never actually done it. They may have something personal going on in their lives where they just saw something where it was an opportunity for them to vent some of the anger or something going on in their lives. This is exactly why we need to monitor our thoughts and make sure that the negativity stays out. Now, the reason we've spent so much time on number 1 here is because it is the foundation and it's so important. If there's one way that I can tie up all of number 1 for you, it's just to set an intention today to be open, curious, and positive. This can be as small of a shift as when someone says, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Instead of immediately replying to them with, yeah, right, reply to them with, how? So the next 4 of these mindset shifts are going to go rather quickly now that we've taken care of the first one. The next one here is to think bigger, and I mean seriously bigger. When I was starting out in online business, I always thought that if I made $10,000 per month or if I made $100,000 per year, I would be absolutely crushing it and living the high life. However, the issue with that is when I started to make $10,000 per month, I plateaued there. My beliefs were limiting me. They were limiting me at $10,000 per month. Now, the takeaway on this lesson is that you need to expand your beliefs. A perfect example of this is actually a real story that illustrates this perfectly. A few years ago, a friend of mine in the area that I lived in, he was trying to grow his business, but everyone in the area was kind of stuck on $10,000 per month. That meant you were doing great. And he had vision to go beyond that, except he didn't really believe that on a fundamental level because he was stuck at $10,000 per month and everyone around him was stuck at $10,000 per month as well. So what he did is he actually made a huge change and moved out to Los Angeles where he thought there would be people who thought bigger. And as you can guess, as he started to meet people in that area, they had beliefs beyond $10,000 per month. They thought that $100,000 per month or more was practical, realistic, and that meant you were doing great. Not only did those friends that he met believe that they could make $100,000 per month, but they were actually making $100,000 per month. This is what allowed him to believe it on a fundamental level. What he previously thought was impossible, he saw with his own eyes is actually possible. So that is the second way that millionaires think differently, and that is to think bigger. The third way to create a millionaire mindset for yourself is to have confidence in your work. Now, this is especially important for beginners getting into a new business, whether that's in person or online. And the reason for that is because as a beginner, you haven't seen the results happen. So you don't really know yourself, and you don't on a fundamental level know that what you're doing will work. This is where a lot of people unfortunately fall into the trap of overanalyzing their work, overanalyzing what they did in the past, overanalyzing if the strategy is going to work in the long run, and they end up just thinking themselves into essentially paralysis. What this means is they're not making progress on their business every day, and they're not growing it. They're stuck in their head thinking about it. So the third way that millionaires think differently is to have full confidence in what they're doing and focus on making progress and growing their business every day rather than sitting back and analyzing all of their work. The fourth way to create a millionaire mindset for yourself is to completely backload your business with work before the money starts. Now, essentially what this means is in the beginning of starting a new business, you're not going to make money right away. It may take you a full year or even 2 years until your business starts to make that $10,000 per month, or it gets to the point where you start to feel like you really had success with your business. Now, the important thing to do if you want to become a millionaire is to make sure that all of this time in that first year or the first 2 years, you are nonstop putting in as much work into your business as you can. One of the hardest things to do in the beginning is to continue to work hard when you're not getting paid for that work yet. So if you can continue to backload your business and just put in all of this work before you've been paid, once all of that starts to kick in, you will start to make a lot of money, and it will add up very quickly once it all starts to kick in. Now, to be clear on this, backloading your business and working hard in the beginning does not mean that you have to be grinding every day. You don't want to burn yourself out, and you don't want to push yourself to the limits. It just means that you have to stay focused and stay productive, try to stay off of social media, try to put your working hours to full use. And yes, it is going to be somewhat of a roller coaster. Some days you're going to have really motivated days that you get a ton of work done, and other days you're going to find yourself falling into a slump and questioning everything. Just remember that this is part of the process and that it is all worth it in the end, and once all of this work kicks in, it starts to pay off and you have much less of those questioning everything days. Now, the last thing here, and the fifth way that millionaires think different, is that once the money starts to come in, they not only live below their means, but they continue to grow their business. Once your business starts to make a substantial amount of money, do not go spend all that money and stop working immediately. The way that millionaires become millionaires and stay millionaires is making sure that they continue that work ethic. Yes, your life will change once you become a millionaire because you won't have financial burdens. However, the way to be smart with this money is to invest that money back into your business. When you're starting out in the beginning, you have to do a lot of this hard work yourself. However, once your business starts to grow at a big level, you can start to hire people to do that hard work for you. This is a good allocation of your money once it starts to come in, because it will continue to grow that money every month in the future. So guys, those are the 5 ways that millionaires think differently, and hopefully this video has been helpful and you can start applying some of these changes starting today. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, just let me know down in the comments and I'd be happy to help you out. All right, with that being said, I hope you stay positive and I will see you all in the next video.